Wow, like, get it together. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about skincare. You guys know that I have been like really into my skincare over the last few years. I am getting older. I am really prioritizing my skin health. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't known me for a very long time, you won't know this because these days my skin stays relatively clear except for like occasional breakouts. But there was a time in my life when I struggled with very severe cystic acne all over my cheek areas, and mainly it was due to stress, but I'm sure hormones and lifestyle and whatnot also contributed. And so I think when you have that in your past, it's like you're very aware of your skin, and once you get it to a good place, it is like, I usually don't change that much. I will test out new things, but I'm super hyper aware of ingredients. I never ever trust packaging because they don't regulate what is non-comedogenic and things like that. They can slap that on anything they want. There's nobody double checking that information. And so actually, if you are a crazy person like myself, you can go through ingredient by ingredient and you can actually see the comedogenic rating of each ingredient in your products, and most of the time you would be like blown away at things that you thought were not harmful, aka CeraVe. Garbage. But anyway, my skin is doing really well these days. It has been for years, but I feel like especially over the last year, maybe two, I've been getting I get a lot of compliments, especially being in, like, if I'm doing any of my beauty jobs or anything like that, the first thing people usually comment is my skin. And for someone like me that had struggled in my past with my skin, it does something to your self-confidence because you are super aware and you feel like everyone is staring at it. So to have people compliment my skin in like a positive way is just, yeah, makes my day. So I'm gonna kind of get close. I don't know if this is the best lighting, but so this is my skin right now. This is just like one kind of like beauty light vanity thing. Sorry about my makeup. It is like 91 degrees outside, so it's a little iffy. I also worked all day, but I did have a really cute Pride eyeshadow situation going on, but I think it has since worn down to next to nothing. It's fairly clear. I mean, the thing is, like, you're always gonna have a little bit of texture, but for the most part, maybe I can try to find like an old picture of when my skin was really bad. I actually don't even have pictures from when my skin was the worst because I was so embarrassed, and I don't think I ever let any of that be solidified into the history books. But I do have some when my skin also flared up again after that, and it was, yeah, I think in some of the photos I was actually like crying, tearing up, but because it's so frustrating, especially like if you get rid of it and then it comes back, it's just like, oh, devastating, you know. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about my top 5 skincare products. These are like my MVPs right now, my ride or dies, things that I literally feel like, I mean, it's not, I don't want to say that I couldn't live without, but I would rather not. Like, they have changed my skin. They deliver consistently whenever I use them, and they don't irritate my skin, break me out. I have super sensitive skin, very reactive skin. I have acne prone skin, congested skin, very oily skin, but now that I'm getting older, it's like oily and combination and dry all at the same time. So basically I feel most of the time if I can use some products, you guys can use these products because my skin is very picky. So if you're like me and you feel like just nothing works, or you feel like everything breaks you out, these 5 products will get you right. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. So skin regimens are very personal, very specific to your skin needs. And also keep in mind that those skin needs can change, you know, like my skin can be one way this year and be completely different next year. So you really have to kind of gauge your skin and adjust along the way, depending on what your skin needs at the time. These are just the 5 products right now that I am absolutely obsessed with, that I have been getting repeatedly. I'm gonna go in order of what you would use them in, with, you know, with or without different things in between. But you definitely could just use these 5 things and it be a complete skincare routine. I usually do have other stuff and I do rotate stuff out. I don't use all of this every day, but these are the things that are my ride or dies that I probably will not change for a very long time. So let's get into it. Number 1, I love a double cleanse. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I feel like me just washing my face is just not good enough. Like, it doesn't even matter if I don't wear makeup because I'm still wearing sunscreen. It just like, and I'm oily. I just feel like my skin really stopped breaking out and really started being more balanced when I started double cleansing, because it ensures you're getting every single bit of everything off of your face. And it is the best feeling when you literally have nothing and your face is just like freshly washed. And I feel like with normal cleansers, it just tends to not get everything. Basically every brand on the planet right now has a double cleanse. It's become quite trendy in American skincare, even though it's been a really common thing in Asian skincare routines for a long time. And honestly, the Korean ones are still far beyond what the American brands have come up with. I'm sorry. This is not my favorite cleansing balm, but right now I am out of my cleansing balm. I'll cover that in another video. But this is my liquid version. It's my cleansing oil, and it is by Suasu. So this is the Gentle Cleansing Oil by Suasu. You can tell that I thoroughly love this product. It's almost empty. I am obsessed with this product, and any kind of good Korean oil cleansing or even Korean cleansing balms, because my cleansing balm is also Korean, luxury. You can tell the difference between this and like a cheaper cleansing oil. So you're gonna do 1 pump on a dry face at night. I don't do this in the morning because there's no need to, but at night, just to make sure I'm getting everything off, I do 1 pump on a dry face. I massage it all over. It'll melt on eyeliner, eyeshadow, lips, whatever's on your face, sunscreen, just like the pollution from the day. And I actually take the time to like have myself a little facial massage. A lot of people will do it for like up to a minute, sometimes even more. And that does like, it like kind of like rolls off like any dead skin that might be there. It kind of like pulls up any like oily plugs that you might have. And plus it just feels really good, you know, luxury. The best part about this cleansing oil is that you add a little bit of water to your hands and then keep massaging. And it actually turns into like this really lovely milky texture. It isn't a lather like a soap. It literally turns to like a milk, like a super like gentle cream almost. And then when you rinse it off, because of that emulsification, it completely gets rid of any residue. So you actually could, I do use a second cleanser after this, like a gel cleanser, but for people that are drier, you actually could use just this. I'm obsessed. Get it. My second ride or die product for my skin right now would be this Dear Claire Supple Preparation Unscented Toner. Looks like this. I am literally obsessed with this product. I'm obsessed. I think I have bought, this might be my 5th bottle, and it goes really far. So this is literally, it's my favorite toner I've ever bought. I'm gonna be real with you. Because, okay, so again, it's Korean. Surprise. This one is very hydrating, but the reason why I love it, they also make another original version that is a scented version. In Korean skincare, they actually usually do put some kind of form of aromatics, like some kind of fragrance in there, because it's supposed to also be kind of like a sensorial sensation, like it's like a luxury thing. You know, you get kind of like, I don't want to say like aromatherapy with it, but kind of like, but my skin can be quite sensitive to fragrances, not always, but sometimes. And so I just try to like limit them as much as possible. So I always buy the unscented version. This one also is essential oil free. It's really hydrating. It balances your pH in your skin. It has licorice that helps brighten the skin tone and even skin tone. It has centella, which is really calming and soothing on the skin. It has glycerin, which is super hydrating. It has arginine, hyaluronic acid in the form of sodium hyaluronate. It's just like full of delicious things. It also has a copper peptide. So it basically just has everything in it for like just dewy, hyper plumpy skin. And it's not like an American toner where it's like an astringent or like an acid toner. I do have those, but I can't use those every day. So actually in Korea, they do what's called like the skin method, and they will do actually multiple layers of toner. And I have started doing that, and it makes a huge difference in the way that my skin looks and feels. I use retinol, so even my oily skin will get dried out, and this really helps. Like that process of layering multiple like layers of toner will really help combat the dryness that can happen, and it helps balance out my skin. I'm gonna just show you guys the texture of this because it's not like normal, like a watery toner. It's literally like a jelly. I can get really close. See how it's like a little bit more viscous? It's not like a super, it's still like a watery texture, but it's kind of like a thick jelly water. You can kind of see it in here too if I like kind of turn. See how it's kind of like a little thicker, almost like syrupy. And I just feel like that helps it not just like completely evaporate so quickly. I love this product. Obsessed. Get it right now. This actually is in my Amazon storefront because I'm obsessed with it, so I will link it below. Okay, so number 3 is probably, I would say, the number one thing that changed my skin and maintains its clarity. And we are talking about tretinoin, baby. Okay, so there's different levels to retinol. Retinol is kind of like the over-the-counter watered down version that you can get. Retinoids are a little stronger. There's also retinol. There's tons of different types and different like stages of it. But tretinoin is the truth. It is just straight up vitamin A, and there's different percentages. I use this one, it's 0.05%. So it's not the strongest, but it's probably like, I think it's like the middle one. This stuff is the jam. You do have to have a prescription to get this. It's not just over the counter like normal retinol, but it delivers. It will dry you out if you're using it every day and you're not hydrating like a lot more than you normally would. I can't use it every day, but I use it a lot. Sometimes when I'm breaking out, I'll use it more. I usually use it like every other night at least, okay? So this is my ride or die. This is definitely my like holy grail skincare product. I don't care what anyone says. Like, people are lying to you. They're just like, oh, retinol and all does the same thing. Like, yeah, it does, just like a lot slower to get it over the counter. I mean, maybe if you're really sensitive, but I mean, I'm really sensitive, and I just built my skin up to it, and I used less and less often. That's it. But it's still the best. It does everything. It does lines, wrinkles, discoloration, pores, texture, like aging, acne. It's just, love it. I am gonna give alternatives for this one and the next one, just because I feel like maybe, for example, like with this one, maybe someone doesn't want to go to a doctor or get a prescription for it. I get that. Maybe it's just too much of a hassle. If I were to recommend an over-the-counter retinol, what would it be? So my favorite retinol serum right now is, again, Suasu. This is the concentrated ginseng renewing serum. I'm obsessed with this product. This is the small one. This is like the travel size version. They do make a larger, like normal size, but this goes a really long way. The reason why I love this one is because it does have retinol, but it also has hyaluronic acid, it has niacinamide, it has glycerin, it has concentrated ginseng. It basically has everything in it that your skin really needs to look its best. I love this serum a lot. So this is something that I would use kind of if I didn't feel like using my tretinoin, because sometimes if I use it too much, it's just too much for my skin. It's really strong. It's prescription strength. So if I want to use a retinol that's like a little bit more gentle and has other benefits, I love niacinamide, I love hyaluronic acid, obviously, I love ginseng, so all of those are in here. So this is a really good over-the-counter retinol. Okay, so number 4 of my can't live without it MVPs right now is a moisturizer. It's a really expensive moisturizer, and I usually am that person that's like, you don't have to spend luxury prices to get a good product. But sometimes that's true, and sometimes you need to splurge, because this guy is worth every penny. Anytime someone asks about it, like, is it really worth it? I always tell them yes, because I love this moisturizer. So this is the Augustinus Bader, the Rich Cream. It's their moisturizer. I am obsessed with this product. I haven't opened this one yet, but I love, love, love this cream. He is a German, I think he's German, scientist. So everything that he does is science-based. All of his moisturizers are fragrance-free, and they are just loaded with good hydrators and peptides. A patented ingredient called TFC8. I still don't exactly know what that is, but it is a very special patent ingredient. I know that he worked with stem cell technology, so I think it has something to do with that, but I don't know. Maybe I can do a deep dive on this product in particular or this brand. But I really do think that this luxury product is worth the price. They have different ones, like different lighter versions, heavier versions. This is the heavy cream version, the Rich Cream. I also like the Soothing Cream. That's like a newer one that they came out with. I'm not a huge fan of the light cream, which is weird because usually I am like a light cream, gel cream kind of person. Like I don't want something super heavy, but I guess because I've been getting older and maybe also because I've been using like a lot of my tretinoin and like BHAs and stuff like that might dry out my skin. My skin has really, really loved having heavier products on it. So I really do enjoy a thicker moisturizer these days. I'm assuming just because it's counterbalancing all of the exfoliating that I'm doing and dryness, but I also have done like a lot of research on the ingredients, and I think that the ingredient list on the Rich Cream is much, much better than the light cream personally. So I still, even if you were like oily, I would still just use this one, but use less. You don't have to use like a full pump. But I love this moisturizer. It is the titties. Just gonna say it. It is the fucking titties. Obsessed. Obsessed. I'm going to give also an alternative to that product just because that is a very expensive cream. And I feel like I should give someone more of a budget friendly kind of version, or like this is also kind of an expensive moisturizer, but not almost $300 or $200 expensive. So this is the Ole Hendrickson Strength Trainer Peptide Moisturizer. It looks like this. This is a little mini that I got in I think it was like a holiday set, but I have almost used it all, and a little goes a really, really long way. I love this cream. I was a little apprehensive at first because it does have a fragrance, but it's literally all the way at the bottom, so it's super, super minimal, and it doesn't bother me. This one is loaded with peptides, ceramides, like collagen, which, you know, is a little controversial due to the fact of like, does it actually get into your skin, does it not, etc. But whatever, it feels amazing on the skin. It is like a really lovely texture. It's almost like it goes on like cream, but it doesn't feel like a cream. It almost feels like a balm on the skin. And I feel like it just creates like a really nice protective layer for my skin. Plus, I'm really loving anything with peptides right now. I feel like peptides in general, there's like 100 different types, but a lot of different peptides I feel like are kind of super, super good ingredients for anything like anti-aging related, skin renewal, kind of like skin barrier function, all of that stuff. And I feel like that is becoming more and more trendy, and I love to see that. Both of these have peptides in them, so this is a good dupe for that. Totally different texture. The Bader is more of like, it almost feels like, this is not going to sound appealing, but it almost feels like glue. Like it's like really thick, that thick, like Elmer's glue at first when you it does sink in, but it's super, super thick. This one feels and looks like it's gonna be thick, but when it actually goes on, it's kind of more of like a balmy texture, which is really, really nice. Okay, and the final VIP product right now for my skin, you know, it has to be a sunscreen. I just now got into sunscreens like 5 years ago, and I'm so ashamed, but I was in the generation where we just all wanted to be tan, like tan, tan, tan. I also grew up dancing for a dance studio, traveling around and competing in national competitions. We were on stage and in very tiny, shimmery outfits, and we were expected to be very tan because God forbid, you be the beacon of pale light up on stage. So I come from a tanning background, and so I just never felt the need for, and I also am olive and I tan fairly easily, so I just never felt the need for sunscreen. But working in the beauty industry, seeing the women that, you know, are in their 50s and above, 50s, 60s, 70s and above, you can tell who has worn sunscreen and who has not. And I'm just gonna say that, okay, so it is what it is. There are two types. There are mineral sunscreens and chemical sunscreens. I am not one of those people that's going to preach to you about how chemical sunscreens are bad. I think that some of them are. I don't think all of them are. I think it's very confusing to know which ones are and aren't. But I will say that if you are more sensitive and you feel like chemical sunscreens like burn or sting your face, especially like around your eye areas, you might do better in a physical sunscreen. So that's me. Chemical sunscreens tend to burn my skin. So I just stick to minerals. Usually minerals are harder to find, and they are more of like, they're more likely to leave a white cast. I'll talk more extensively about this in like a separate video probably, but my favorite all time is this one. It is the Color Science, I think it's the Sun Shield. Oh no, sorry. Color Science Sun Forgettable Total Protection Face Shield Classic. That's the longest name ever. But it looks like this. I love this sunscreen. This one is a 50, check. I feel like you always need a 50 no matter what. It's 50, it's broad spectrum, and it's PA 4+, which is really what you wanna look for. It's all mineral, so it's zinc, I believe. Yeah, zinc 12%. And UAV and UVB, so it's basically everything you need. All the sunscreens have different filters and they're not all created equal. So the fact that this is PA 4+, broad spectrum, UVA, UVB, everything, it's the best. Another good reason why I love this one is because even though it is mineral, it's super thin and it's like a peachy texture. So it's like a fluid, like a watery texture. So it's not gonna be that white, thick zinc, like old school sunscreen. It actually goes into your skin completely, pretty much almost clear. And if anything, that like light peach kind of tone it actually helps kind of hide stuff. Like sometimes, my skin has honestly gotten to the point where I can do this everywhere and it kind of hides things a little bit. And then I'll do my foundation like almost like concealer, not everywhere. And it works really well, kind of like to color correct dark spots. Anyway, this video has gone on long enough. If you have any questions about each individual product here that I have, you can feel free to ask me. I'll try to link, not all of this is available on Amazon. And sometimes I don't really trust Amazon for certain things, like is it legit, is it not, whatever, is it expired? But I will link what I can from Amazon underneath. Let me know your favorites. I have a ton of skincare that I love. So I'm sure that I'll have different ones, but these are just like the top 5, like things that I literally feel like at this stage of my life, I cannot live without. Okay, so see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, yeah, forgot. Happy Pride.